We got to open up our bottle of wine.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one is from Bookwalter, which we're both members of. But this is their, so they have two different lines. They have their readers and then they have their luxury.
Okay.
And this is from the reader. So I just got it from QFC.
Oh,
you can get it, especially if you buy it, they constantly have case sales on it. So I think you can get it from the winery for like, I wouldn't say like 16, 17, 18 bucks
per bottle. This is a Merlot.
This is a Merlot.
Okay. I didn't even realize they were in stores.
Yes, their readers are in stores.
Oh,
just their reader. Yeah, it's their like middle of the road.
Okay, got
it. They have a note. It's their notebook blend. You can get it for like $9, and it tastes way more. So that was my COVID wine. But this is their readers. I think at QFC was on sale for like 21, normally like 27.
Yeah, when I go to like the grocery store and I'm eating a bottle of wine, it's like it's got to be around 20 for it to be worth my time. I guess we're high out. I don't know.
I am worth the hangover. Hangovers are way less, but that's my big thing. Yeah. The higher the price, the lower the hangover.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like savor it. You're not just like downing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless sugar, stuff like that. Yeah,
that's true.
Sulfites and all that. So Bookwalter, was my first winery. Oh, if they ever joined. My mom has been a member there forever. They take care of their members. They also give a portion of their proceeds to like literacy.
Love it.
Walter. Yep. Bookwalter. So all of their readers, they had like their names are protagonist, antagonist, conflict, stuff like that. So all conflict. Yes. Conflict. You know the antagonist is like cat frog.
Yeah. Hey, that's why.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit funny because like antagonist, like, kind of edgy. That's kind of, so that
it all
lies.
So this is their Readers Merlot. It's just a good, my parents always call it
a Tuesday wine.
Like, so you're not going to open up a $50 bottle of wine now, but,
right next to the mic too.
Yeah.
Really pretty dark, little bit of bread, like barely a hint of bread.
Yeah.
Cheers. All right, cheers. Not sweet.
Yeah.
No.
Good flavor.
Actually, like pretty dry.
Pretty dry, not overly bold, but still a good amount of flavor.
Like a little bit of bold, kind of like on the tip of your tongue at the end. It's really good. That is a good Tuesday wine.
Tuesday wine.
It's actually Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
Right? Yeah.
So how was your morning?
My morning was busy. I got up and got the kids ready for school. My father-in-law is staying with us right now, so also just he's taken care of. And then got the kids off to school. I went to CrossFit. I was just not feeling my workout today, to be honest. It was just a little bit rough. So yeah, and it wasn't a hard day. It was like back squats, but it was like 7 rounds of 3 reps. Yeah, and I just was like, I did not sleep well last night, and my dog was like sick last night. Just like, so I just was like, probably got today.
You got it done though.
I got it done. I didn't get a 0. I should have. And then I went to this therapy for my tennis elbow
from pickleball.
Summer pickleball.
Can't wait for summer.
Oh my gosh. So I got into pickleball like almost a year ago. And then I got hurt into it. And we played a lot. That's awesome.
Yes. Have you seen the bar in Marysville? It's cool.
Yeah, Molly.
Yeah.
I have $150 gift card. And I went on rent. And I still haven't gone.
Let's go.
Okay.
You need to do something now.
Yeah, I probably is. My tennis is so bad. I'm not like pissed. And finally, in January, I was like, I should probably do something about that. So my CrossFit gym actually has physical therapy on site. And so I just started that a couple weeks ago. They actually think that my tennis elbow is stemming from a neck problem. like a bad nerve connection. And so clearly came out of chiropractor. I have a chiropractor, which that does help. But like there's just a ton of like strengthening that I need to do in my like upper shoulder. So they did a ton of like manual work on me today. And anyway, like it's feeling pretty good right now. But did that, and then of course got ready to podcast with you. So here we are. A little bit slower this week, I would say, like client wise. I do expect like after Wednesday, Thursday hits with listings, and probably will be showing quite a bit Thursday to Friday. So that's what it is.
I kept the kid up. She's actually slept in. So I have a 2-year-old that slept until 7:15 is, I'll take that.
That's sleeping in.
That's kind of a normal. She's been waking up a little bit earlier the last few weeks, but 7-ish. So, giving me plenty of time to have a slow morning, get ready, get things aligned.
Love it. Are you the type of person that you need a cup of coffee?
No. I typically get ready and then I'll go make breakfast and then I actually drink matcha.
Matcha. Okay.
Not coffee.
Okay.
So I'll make my matcha tea and
Nice.
and go pick up the nanny and send them off to have some fun, and just kind of did a handful of computer work this morning and got a couple pre-approvals coming in. So I just gotta get started on those. So hopefully,
okay. Are you taking more loan applications lately?
Yes, there has been. I saw a stat that mortgage applications went up 9.9% the first week of
some moderate uptick. I wouldn't say that's like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but I think we'll really see it in the next coming weeks. Yeah. This lingering still after the first of the year, and then
it's hard to stats because you're not going to know. Time is going to tell.
And they're always like a slight, that was probably for the first week of January and stuff like that. So last episode we went through kind of the intake process and the beginning process. This episode, we're going through, okay, the client is pre-approved. I've said, okay, you are pre-approved up to this amount. Your comfort is this amount. And my words are typically go have fun with your agent and go home shop. Like, that's the fun part. You get to do all these home. What does that look like?
Yeah. So this is step 2 of my 4-step process that I run with my clients. So step 2, after we have signed an exclusive, so let's say we did that trial by tour, we toured those 5 homes, you're getting to know me, dating me a little bit. And you're like, okay, Mariesa is my person, or you already decided that off the bat. We signed that exclusive agreement. I'm going to set you up with an auto email from that multiple listing service. So our multiple listing service, MLS, Northwest MLS locally. So I'm going to set you up with an auto email. The MLS is where we as agents, when we have a listing, we input it into the MLS. So get your listing info from the source, not all these ancillary other places.
Zillow is not connected to the NLS. Is Redfin?
Redfin are broker.
Okay, that's what I thought. But Zillow is not connected with MLS. So agents have to specifically upload stuff.
No.
Oh.
So Zillow, as far as my understanding is they are pulling third-party data from brokerages. So brokerages, when you see, like if you're on Remax's site, for example, and you're looking at listings, that's an IDX feed direct from the MLS. So updates pretty quickly. Is it as like quick as the MLS? No.
Yeah.
Zillow is pulling data from brokerages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely go use Zillow.
I don't love Zillow.
Don't use Redfin or Zillow for home estimate value.
No.
Don't do that.
Please don't.
But definitely don't use Zillow for home shopping.
Yeah. So here's why. Don't use the Redfin, Zillow's estimate.
Yeah.
Don't use that. Don't use the Redfin estimate as a good gauge for the value of a home. It is a computer algorithm. It is not a human being literally going in and making adjustments for the interior finishes, the quality, the yard space, the square feet size, all of that. It is a computer algorithm. So just keep that in the back of your mind. You need an agent to run a CMA for you, which I'll talk about that later this episode. But So you sign your exclusive agreement with me. I'm going to set you up with an auto email from the MLS. So based on you fill out your buyer workbook with me, we're going to together via a Zoom call, like 15, 20 minutes. We will set up your search area within MLS, your criteria. Okay, I want minimum 3 bedrooms. Going off your minimum, actually, and we're going to build off from there. So I need minimum 2-car garage, those sort of things. Your map area, we're going to select that. Get that set up so that every time a new listing hits the market, you immediately get that info. So you can get an email and a text, one or the other. You can get both, one or the other. The other thing I like to do is set you up on my Home Spotter app. So it's an app that's branded to me specifically as your agent. You download it from the link that I send you. You get to create your own search. And then what's cool is like you can create your own search. I see what you see. You can message me within the app. The other thing is that you can look at all the listings. So if you're like, I just want to have fun today, I'm going to look at all the waterfront properties. Like you can do that.
So it's essentially a Redfin app. A Redfin
app. But it's tied directly to the MLS.
Yes. Yeah.
Tied directly to the MLS. So the data is going to update very quickly. You get to communicate with me directly in the app, which I love. So we do that. And then basically, I in my intake, I want to know when you can look at properties. So if you can only see properties in the evening or only on the weekends, like I'll work based off of your schedule. So what I typically tell clients is I can turn around showings pretty quickly. Like I would like to have 4 hours notice, I would say at minimum. And if I can't turn around a showing, then I will say, hey, I'm not available then, but hey, I could do X time. Or if that doesn't work, I almost always have a colleague that can help me out. So I can get you into homes pretty quickly. Typically, I say let's stop at like 6 homes.
If someone was like, hey, I want to go out on a Saturday,
we're doing like a caravan. Yeah. I don't want to show you more than, of course I want to show you. See, after 6 homes, everything starts blurring together and you will have such a hard time keeping track of each home. And I don't love that for you. I want you to be able to remember the homes. You are free to go to open houses. The one caveat to that is new construction. New construction often, I would say the majority of the time, needs me as your agent present in order for me to receive compensation if you got to ride on a property and get to closing. If I'm not there with you present on your first visit and you write an offer, I typically will get $0. So please check with me. Part of instruction if it's an open house, even if it's an open house, because they require you to register when you walk into their door. Yeah. And if I'm not there physically, I buy compensation. So
interesting.
Yeah. And we talked last episode about transparency. That's just one thing that I gotta be transparent with you about. I don't do this for free.
Yeah, right. This is our job.
That's our job. We do not get paid until closing.
Yes. So both of us.
For both of us. And so that's just something that I ask for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, free to go to open houses. Obviously I've got like a client right now who they want to go to open houses primarily. And then if they're like, oh, this is really great, like you want comps on it. I'll go do that. If they want to write an offer on it, I for sure want to get eyeballs on it. I don't want to just blindly write an offer if I haven't seen it, because what if there's a resale problem with it?
Yeah.
So when we're actually touring homes, we're spending about 30 minutes per listing looking through the homes. And during that time, I am looking for things that could be a problem if you had to sell it in the future. So called resale concerns. So if it has poor natural light, if it has a terrible layout that would have to take a big structural update to get it to be a good layout. Road noise is a big thing. Airplane noise. If you're looking at Mukilteo area, like airplane noise can be a big deal. Purian, Seatown, like those areas. So I'm looking for things that if a big life change happened, you wouldn't be like blaming me for not telling you about that, right?
Transparency.
Just transparency. I want you to be happy with your purchase, and I don't want you to be surprised if, God forbid, in a year your spouse dies and you need to sell the property. Oh, Mariesa, you didn't point out that we have really bad road noise.
It's also a factor that like whether it's full resale or it's also why is this home priced slightly under the home on the street, and kind of getting a full idea of it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I like to tell clients this: you are not wasting my time by having me tour multiple homes with you. Please do not ever think that you're wasting my time.
Yeah.
I actually love going and touring homes. It is one of my favorite parts of my job. I get to see the neighborhoods. I get to see different types of architecture. I get to see different design styles. I get to know you and like your preferences too. So it's really, really good for us to view homes together.
Yeah.
I've had clients, we saw one home and that was it. I've had one client, it took him 9 months and like 60, 70 homes that I toured together before they wrote an offer. So it's like, I'm going to be with you every step of the way. And if it takes us 100 homes before you find the one, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to feel comfortable. So it's
All the process.
yeah. So, then if you end up liking a home, typically what I will do is I'm going to have you reach out to your lender and have them run numbers. So what does that look like when I say, hey, Denae, so-and-so wants to, I think it's going to write an offer on this. I think the price is going to be this, maybe some seller closing costs, maybe not. So what does that look like for you?
Yeah. So clients obviously pre-approved already.
Yep.
And I'll just kind of update the numbers. Update, sometimes if you don't already, I'll say what's the high end of your purchase price offer. Because you like to go minimums, bedrooms, all that. I like to go maximum. Sure. Because numbers will only go down if things go lower. So I'll ask, okay, what's the max that you need to offer? Get a gauge on seller credit or anything like that. And then I'll run a scenario. So I can give the client, I'll pull accurate taxes on that specific property. And insurance will still be estimate, but it will really fine tune down the monthly payment and the total cash to close.
Yeah, because taxes and HOA dues can impact your monthly payment. And it's so important that you understand that before you write an offer.
And really, the HOAs is the one that not only affects the monthly payment, but it can affect.
Right.
If someone all of a sudden switches from a condo to a single, or from a single family to a condo, that could potentially ruin a pre-approval letter. Like they can be approved for a $500,000 single family, but then they go to a $500,000 condo and there's $500 HOA dues. They may not be approved for that.
Yeah.
So there's not only making sure comfort is still there, but making sure approval is still there if there's that switch.
Right.
I have some clients that are like, okay, I'll do here. They start their search. Here's the first one. They go through a couple and then they're like, okay, I get a gauge as long as we're within $10,000 of whatever starting price point, this is about where, and they're comfortable with that. There's other ones that every single one, they want an update, which is totally fine. It's a very fine tune. And it just really helps them make an offer of what they're comfortable with.
Right.
Whether it's, okay, we need to ask for $5,000 more seller credit, or no, this is a little bit above. If we can only get $5,000 seller credit instead of 10, we're still within our comfort zone. So they can really help you set up the offer and potential later negotiations on what they're going to be comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah. So typically, again, if client is remotely interested in offering, I want updated numbers from you.
Yep.
Because that's going to determine whether you feel comfortable with that monthly payment. Yep. And please, if you're not comfortable with the monthly payment, don't tolerate. Don't offer. Okay. If you are not comfortable, I don't want you writing it off. Truly. So that's why we do that. I don't want you to be surprised. So that's a key step in that process. I will, of course, contact the listing agent, figure out if it's a competitive such situation. If it's competitive, there's going to be some things that we're going to talk about, like pre-inspecting, doing your due diligence before you offer. I don't want to get too far in the weeds on that, but that conversation with that listing agent is going to be crucial to getting you the information you need to write a competitive offer, or an offer that maybe is a little bit more attuned to you as the buyer, you know? So then I will gather the seller documents. So on the multiple listing service, MLS, there is what's called supplements, and they are documents that the seller is required to provide to the buyer. So things like the legal description has to be initialed by the seller. The Form 17, which is the seller disclosure statement. There's going to be like utilities, title report, if they did an inspection report, those sort of things. Those are going to be on supplements, and only we as agents have access to those. Well, I'm going to release those to you, give you access to those so that you can review them. If you have questions, let's talk through it.
Is that also the form that, like, if they ask, like, do you acknowledge any issues or stuff like that? Is that on Form 17?
Yeah, so Form 17, seller disclosure statement, it's on page 5. If the seller answered any questions with yes, so for example, has the roof leaked in the last 5 years, and the answer yes, they have to reference that particular number of question on the bottom of page 5 and explain what happened. Where does that, so kind of tangent, where does that play into underwriting?
Yeah. So if there's anything on there that call it a roof leak,
Sure.
it's not clear that it's been fixed.
Yeah.
And even if it has, like they say that it has, we may need some sort of confirmation that it has.
Okay.
A lot of the time that comes from the appraiser.
Okay.
Saying like there's no roof leaks or something like that.
Sure.
But if stuff is called out on there, underwriting is always concerned with health and safety concerns. So if it's something that's not a health and safety concern, it's probably not a big issue.
Sure.
If it's something like a roof, they're going to be concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if it's a health and safety concern, it either needs to be proof that it's been fixed or it needs to be fixed prior to it.
Yeah. So that's called a work order.
So if something is on there, we have to figure out how to get it rectified. And it really depends on what it is. If it's something that's called out on the appraisal, which we'll dive into appraisals a lot deeper.
Yes.
So
yeah.
If the appraiser calls something out, they'll put the appraisal subject to. And we have to have them go back out, do another reinspection after it's done. And then ultimately have the report say as is. If it's something that's just called out on the PSA for sale agreement or like on an addendum because seller credit was negotiated and it said the outlet covers need to be adjusted. Since it's on there, we have to get something, whether it's depending on the severity, sometimes it's just an email from the client saying, I'm happy with what's being fixed. Sometimes it is a proof of receipt from a contractor. So it really depends on what it is and the severity or, lack of severity of health and safety concerns.
Gotcha. So kind of tying that together is the Form 17, the seller disclosure statement is one of the documents that you as the client are going to review. And depending on the answers to those, it could impact your lending potentially.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the majority of the time, I think the minority of the time. But it could impact whether or not you want to write it in front of them.
Because not only could it maybe cause a headache in lending, but it could also, if there's something that's marked yes, more than likely there is an issue.
Right.
So it's like, are you ready for a fixer upper? Are you ready for these particular concerns?
Yeah. So seller documents, going to send those to you. And we will, next episode, we're going to touch on kind of reviewing those documents together and the actual offer process. But you're going to get a copy of those. I'm also going to be, while you're reviewing that, I'm going to be working on what's called a CMA, comparative market analysis. So basically, I am looking at homes that have sold within a 2-mile radius of the subject property that you're potentially offering on, and that have sold in the last 6 months. This is very similar to how appraisers will approach figuring out whether a home is worth what the buyer is paying for it. So really important that you have that data to know whether or not a property is underpriced, because maybe then it's going to get competitive. Last week, two scenarios where they underpriced it. Or maybe it's like right at that top end value. And so we know, okay, it's not probably going to appraise if it goes beyond that value.
For
and to prepare you potentially for an appraisal shortfall. If this is like your dream home and it's overpriced, I'm going to talk you through that and be like, hey, this kind of a red flag to me.
yeah,
If you want to take that on, okay, great. Here's what could happen down the line with the appraisal. Again, we can talk about that later. But that the CMA is really going to be a good tool for you as a buyer to figure out whether or not it's worth what you are going to write as the purchase price of the property.
yeah,
So that basically is step 2 is basically we go tour homes and we start prepping for the idea of writing an offer.
Yeah.
And next week, we are going to go over how to write an offer. And you definitely have a big role in that.
yeah. I think it's writing the offer, the contingencies that you guys go through, and then offer accepted.
Yeah.
And that's really where I come back
That's
in.
no time. And now that is you are center stage.
Yeah. So we'll kind of go through all of that because I feel like the pre-approval process was just kind of like a little dangly. Hey, and seems so simple. And the pre-approval process is fairly simple.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, the work to actually close the line comes after you're
You have to get the final approval. That is what we are really in.
we'll kind of through all those things. Yeah. So
All right.
perfect.